Happy Friday. Happy Juneteenth, my people. How are we doing? I hope everyone's doing well. The markets are closed. It is after 1 o'clock. It is Friday. What time is it? 2:16. All right. So we're going to be doing our Forex review. Of course, you know I love to do Japan. So we're going to start off with Japan. Japan was bullish all week. Bullish all week. And as you can see, a couple of videos back, I charted these previous highs that it was reaching to make all-time highs, and it took it out easily, right? So you have 70,572, 71,550, and then the next high is possibly going to be at 72, well, 73,000. And Japan is very easy to get these highs. That's not a problem. So we do have a slight pullback on Thursday for a sell-off, just a small sell-off, and then pop back up. It is now currently in the 1 hour order block, and I'll drop down so you guys can see it. All right, so let's take a look here. My order block is right here before we did that sell-off. Make this big for you guys. I did this order block right here, this green one, right before we did that nice big sell-off here. We pull back up and we slow down to this nice support line at 70,580, which probably was their most recent high before prior to this. Bounced off of this line support, we hit the order block, pull back, and now we're playing around in the order block. So not too sure what the next move is going to be, if we're going to take this and gap up to take out to make new highs. We do have another order block on the 1 hour at about the 60, 70, 80 range. This order block is right before we had that major move up. So this is where I would be looking at for possibly pull back down to then bounce up to try to do around. So um a lot of times people will say, well, these are supply and demand zones. I honestly feel like order block and supply and demand zones are the same. I probably am wrong. There's probably a little difference in between them, but um, this to me looks like a supply and demand zone as well as an order block from top to bottom. Basically, this is where we shot up and this is where we ended. So that's technically what I would see here. So my what I'm thinking that's going to happen in the beginning of next week, I think we're going to go for highs of 70,000, 73,000. Take that money and then sell off. I do think we're going to sell off. I would be not surprised if we continue with all-time highs. But wouldn't be surprised either if we sell off. But I do think next week we will reach 70,000, 73,000. I don't know if it's going to be at the open or at the end of the week, but I do believe that we'll wind up in the 73,000 range. Again, I can be wrong, and I'll take my L's. I'm presumably wrong. This is just me looking at the chart and understanding how Japan 225 works. So right now, I would be quite bullish on Japan, looking for it to take out, make new highs of 73,000, 73,000, and then start to sell off to come back down to these order blocks to find buyers or just start to correct itself. We are quite high. And again, don't forget, we are getting into summer vacations where a lot of people are taking breaks. All right, here is NASDAQ or NAS 100. All right. So let me pop up to the 4 hour block so you can see it. I have an order block here at the 4 hour, this block right here before we did that major sell off. This sell off was Tuesday going in, this was a Tuesday, right? And then this one was Wednesday. So we did not take out this previous high of 30,756. We tapped out around this area. We whipped up and then came down and started to sell off. All right. I did not find another order block down here. I probably have to do a little bit more seek and find, but for right now, that's what I have. I'm sure the order block for here is somewhere down this area over here. So hit this order block, sold off, bounced up, sold back down, did not take out any of these previous lows down here. So could be possibly still bullish because we did not take out these lows down here. So we did a pull back up. We tapped this box again, slight sell off, but we did not go as low as this over here. and then we kind of blew out, and then we're teetered off today. Today was a holiday. The markets closed early, so technically it was only running in London. The US did not open up, so there was no volume. So London doesn't really, I mean, like, it's a Friday anyway, so I'm quite sure no real moves were to be made. So we're looking at the opening to see what happens on Sunday night. I would be quite interested if we do a gap up to take out the high and just keep running to 31,488, which I have here already previous marked. The next target would be 31,896 as well as 32,458. So let's see how the market is. If we take out this, if we do cross out the high of 30,753, I believe we are still quite bullish. This was a nice pullback to gather money to actually pull back to pull up. Now, why do I say that we're bullish? Because of this market structure here, not taking out any of the lows. Yes, we did not take out this previous high, but our market structure is basically like in between, like we're in between something. So we could be rejecting off of this and sell back down. That is definitely a possibility. But because we didn't take out any of these lows down here and we didn't take out any highs down here, but this right here is like still in the middle of something that can be a possible move still up because the closest target is still upward. That's the closest where possible to make more money before we want to sell off. The target of equity of where there's money is down here, and this is still kind of like further from where we are. This is closer money than this being closer money. More money is closer here versus down here. So, my status for NAS is bull as well. SPY is going to be the same thing. I don't really trade SPY on my Forex account. Um, just because I have to make it such a big lot for it to be profitable for me. But if you are a beginner, this is actually a really good thing to run on because the margin levels on SPY is very low. You can make a pretty penny off of it. I'm just used to making a little bit more. And unfortunately, I'm kind of at the point where I'm not satisfied unless it's a certain amount and above. That's just because I have a goal in mind. Next one is gold. As I said in my previous, I don't know, well, on the future one, I also stated I mainly traded the Forex account on this one. Uh, My, oh, thank goodness it didn't break. One of my clients had made one of this. It's so cool. It's like the glass, when you look through it, it's like glass through here or whatever. But anyway, you probably can't see it through the camera. So anyway, gold took me out. It played the crap out of me. I was looking for a bull run over here because I noticed that we had such a nice strong, and my target was right here to complete this head shoulder pattern, right? To be up here and then pull back because it still would be technically bearish. But it sold off right here and took me out. And I had my stop loss at the bottom of it, right? Because that's usually how I stuck to my rules and I got burned, which always it happens. And I'm not mad with the trade because I did my rules. And trades still don't work out. And that's okay because the market still does what it wants to do. You have a good prediction of what it's going to do. And I'm okay with that. I was it was going in the right direction. Unfortunately, I slept. I went to sleep and it just completely reversed on me because I did overnight work that day and I had worked at both jobs. So sold down and then bounced up. It came back to this area of consolidation and then we teetered off and then we sold off. So I had did a because I was starting to be very cautious of what was going on because I don't really know. I didn't know what was going on. It was just odd behavior to me. So I did my set limit at this area of where it would cross down, and then I sold down overnight last night to this area. It I had my TP below here, actually probably at 39.85. It did not go as low as I thought it was going to go. So I did have my trading stop loss. I had my stop loss in profit. So no matter, even if it had reversed back, I would have made a little bit of a profit. Excuse me. And then, but when I woke up this morning, it was still running. So I actually took profits because I saw one, it's Friday, it was low volume, two, it's early close, and three, I didn't really want to I just wanted to take the money that I did have, which was more than my where my stop loss profit was. So just add that to the bank and see how we open up on Sunday. Now, it would be interesting to see how we open up on Sunday. Because we started to do like a nice little climb up, are we going to kind of pull up here to come back down? Or are we going to sell off, take out this low and keep coming down? I'm very interested to see what the move is. Now that I noticed that the dollar is sky high, I would be more inclined for a sell off just because I know when dollar is high, gold is it sells off. So interested to see what we do Sunday. So I would not be surprised for a sell off. Take out some lows to grab money to continuation until the dollar cools off and then to start climbing back up. So that's my guess on silver. I'm sorry, gold. To sell down, continue selling off until we get into the range of where we had major consolidation last year around August of where before gold took off. I still have these areas of interest and I'm still interested in these areas because I do think there's a lot of buyers in this area. Next one is silver. I didn't really play silver too much this week. If I did, it was probably like silver doing what silver does best, playing the crap out of me. But we did take out this opening gap that we have here. We closed that gap, came up, same thing that kind of looks like with gold. Um, it did do a nice little run down. I do know, I mean, they're similar, but they do run a little bit slightly different. So, we had a nice little pullback overnight. This is probably during London session. And then we just teeter off. We ended green on the 1 hour, I think on the 4 hour too. No, red. But it is the uprising going up. So, didn't take out this low here. Would be interested to see if we gap down. We are now back below our downtrend line. We do have an area of interest. The next low after 60 is 45. So it would be very interesting to see if we sell all the way back down to 45. If we do, I would not be surprised if we do have a nice bounce off at that time because over here at 45, uh, on October 27th, we start to do that major run off bull run for silver. And we already know how silver is. Silver is a very important element these days. So it could be a potential sell down all the way down here to get people to get ready to make that buy back up to 120. I wouldn't be surprised if we go past 120 for this next runoff, just because silver will start to be a true rare earth metal. So I would be looking for bearish momentum to finish selling off to down back down to this area, just like gold to sell back down. And currently the dollar is high. This here is UK oil. UK oil very similar to US oil. Runs slightly different, just like all instruments do. We are not that far from this gap. We are very close to this gap. I really want this gap to close because I know once we close this gap, I do feel like we are going to zoom up and go. So I would love to see us gap down, close this gap, to come back up, close that gap, close this gap, and go back up to this gap. So I find that gaps work very well with oil, and that's kind of how I kind of trigger my trades. I really did expect us to close this gap by this week, but it looks like we're holding off another week to close the gap. It might be 2 weeks at this point if we get past this point of here. This is where previous support around this area was. So again, we have a couple of gaps. Let's make this larger for you. So on Sunday, we gap down, sold off tremendously, and then did a huge point out. I don't even think I was in this, and thank God I wasn't in it because I would have been mad. I would have been taken out easily because I definitely would have had my stop loss down this area, and they would have took me out of my profit for sure. And then this was a liquidity grab completely, just because on the one, this is a 4 hour. Let me see what happened on the 1 hour. Even on the 1 hour, grab and then come back down. sell down, sell down. And we are like literally right here at this gap. I want this gap to close so bad. So I would love to see it actually gap down, close this gap for us to now come back up, close that gap for the gap down, go back up, take this money here, close this gap here, and then go for the bigger gap that's up at a one at the dollar. I mean a 100 area. I know that's a lot, but what I would love is that when we gap up here, we'll probably do like a little phase of accumulation, like making it. And then I would love to swing this bad boy all the way up to a hundred. I would love to. I think that would be an excellent trade. A nice little 3-month trade up for it to close up here. Like open up another account. I feel like this would be a good practice just so that you can see how long you can do a swing account on a low part on oil. Um, just to practice holding trades. Because I know for me, holding trades is very hard because I don't want to lose my profits. I don't want to because I'm like, I use the trading money for daily things, like activities right now. So I wanna open up another Forex account that like a Forex account in my account that I have already and have that be my swing one so that when it reaches TP, I'm making that big money off it instead of like the increments. But I would use the increments for daily things like food shopping or taking my son somewhere or just like paying bills. A lot of times I'm able to pay the light bill, pay the gas bill. And these things help you out because even though I do work, I'm still trying to take care of other debt, bigger things. So my goal is to make all the money that I have on extra things that I've been able to learn to help my build my wealth and take down some debt that I have that I was trying to build my wealth with. So, it's a double-edged sword. I have multiple properties, but I also have multiple, I have so much debt. So, and oil. So, this is oil US. We are not as close to this gap here, but I feel like we're like in between the gaps. So it would be very interesting, but hopefully it will gap down to close this gap for us to actually start gapping up. Now, there is no other gaps outside of this one. All the gaps are closed on oil US, but UK oil has a lot of gaps still pending. So we are still on this downtrend though. All this is downtrend. We are also below the uptrend ones too. So I wonder, I can take this out. I can clean this up. We're still down this one, and this is the major trend line going up. So we're still down. So we're still very bearish. And I think we can probably do another trend line right here. Now, technically, price is above this area. It is above this support here at 75. The dollar is strong. So interesting. I know how I want UK to go, but it looks like US is showing some strong bull move. That's the 1 hour, 4 hour, same thing. We created a lot of support right here. Ended green, even though the markets are closed or low, but we're still below these areas. So, excuse me, we could technically gap up, close this gap to come back down, to close this gap. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz or anything like that, so I'm not sure what's going. I think everything is calm. So if that's the case, then we should be selling down. We should be selling down. So for right now, I am still bearish on oil, both UK and US oil. I am surprisingly still bearish on gold and silver. I'm bullish on the indices though, that I am. And let's take a quick look at the dollar. So the dollar is quite bullish. It took out this part that I charted at a dollar point 66. That is when gold and the indices sold off because this was Wednesday. Wednesday had a big bull move, pull back and go up on Thursday night. Thursday day actually. Yeah, morning, London session. And then we almost got to 101.27. So we have a pullback. I don't think we're coming. I don't know what's going on. Honestly, don't. So if we come back down, then the goal, like the indices and everything, will be continue to go up. If we continue going up, everything else should be selling off. It should be, but we always know you cannot make it a guarantee. The market does what it wants to do. There's always hidden agendas behind the market, so you just have to be aware. All right, you guys, so that is my recap for Forex. I know it's like, girl, what? I'm confused, and so am I. That's why it's so confusing. But we'll just see how the market opens up next week. We'll have a full week of trading, so that will be good. A lot of possibilities and opportunities will be happening at that time. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the comments. Please let me know if you want me to start doing some other ones so I can continue practicing charting, just so you can understand my thought process in the charting situations. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.